Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-Flex CAD training course, and the topic for today will be the control elements. This is a functionality that allows us to create user-defined dialog boxes. It seems very complex when we start to talk about this, but in fact it's very simple. The concept behind what we can do with these commands. The user should have a very well defined idea of what is the purpose of what he needs to create. Okay, and my idea for this lesson today is to show you one example that I have already on the screen of what we can do, and then simply show you where are the commands to create this kind of control elements. One final topic before I show you the concepts of these functionalities. The idea in here, it is to create a better environment to edit the drawing, and as we've seen in the last lessons, the drawing is parameterized through variables, and the idea it is, instead of creating these additions with this variable editor that we've already seen, so instead of coming here and changing the values, the idea is to create this more friendly environment to control the drawing. So this is one example of what we can do, and in the end of this training course, which will take still a couple more weeks, we will publish also a couple of examples showing different possibilities of what is possible to do with this. But as you can see, we have in the 2D area one drawing, a very simple one with a couple of dimensions. And then we've created another dialog box, another page with also it's a special kind of page where we've created a couple of elements. As you can see, these elements are possible to edit, okay? And all these elements that are shown here have different effects on the addition of the drawing. And now we can do the addition through here, okay? And what we do will affect the drawing on this side. As you can see, 135 on the length, okay? And if I change it, for example, to 100 on the length and the height for 140, so now you see 100 per 140. So what I change here has an effect on the other side. The same for this kind of command, show axis lines. Now it is not shown, and you see there are no axis lines. Okay, now show, and you can see I have axis lines. The same for dimensions, show or not show, no dimensions. And show or not the drawing title. Okay, we can see also what is the effect, no title. And now it should have a title, here it is. And font size, large, middle, small, okay, small. So this is the place where we can edit all of these things. But besides this possibility to edit here, and I forgot to mention, but we have also a drawing showing what this is. We can, with this, we can create something that is in fact the dialog box. Okay, it's a very friendly place with this look. So if I come in here, parameters, model, you see I have this dialog box that basically it's the creation that is behind, and I can make the addition, okay, in this dialog box, which is quite friendly, okay. all of these elements are what we have behind. As you can see, when I do things here, the actions are the same behind, and you have the effect on the drawing. So this is the final result, and with some patience and with a little experience on this, we can create pretty nice things in this place. For sure, as you know, we still did not see the 3D, but if we have all of the drawing parameterized, we can have the connection between the 2D and 3D. And what we do on the 2D side through this dialog box, it can reflect or do some action on the 3D part also. So this is the final result. Now I've picked the example from our last video lesson, and the idea is a little to show how to reach that state even without going so far, to avoid to have this lesson so long. So when you come to parameters, we have this command here called control, and under control we can create a new dialog page. So create dialog page. You see I have one page for my drawing, another one for my control, and simply in this area now we simply create these elements we have here, very simple elements. The first one, create a control, so just it is graphical, so create one control, in this particular case a static test to put a message, okay, what you want, and then it can be set with all of these normal definitions that we have for many other things. An addition box, okay, that will reflect a certain variable. In this particular case example that we've seen, I have only with variable the R. I can get this kind of control also. Let's call it, for example, A. So it can create a couple of divisions or groups of things in my dialog box. I can create a control also, and I can call it whatever I want, okay, this particular case B. And I can connect these to some actions. I can say, please connect these to another page, okay, you can activate, for example, to set a value of a variable, run a command. So we can connect this to many other things, okay. For example, we can run a command, which I don't know, I did not define which command. I can make a checkbox also and connect something around this. So I have only that variable. I can put this state of the variable on off. Typically this kind of command is done like we've seen for, very small, like we've seen for this kind of commands to hidden or to show some elements. And if you see in here, if I open my editor, I can see that I have axis lines. I've connected variables with the axis lines, so these are elements that connect them with the visibility. I can say they have the value 0 or 1, and then with these functionalities here I can make them disappear, okay. We can make this kind of control also, okay. Again, always the same element in here, and call it something, okay. And you can make this kind of checkbox. We can make this kind of command also here. This is a variable where we have a list. So if I open this, okay, I can get a list. So this is also connected with the variables, and if you have lists created connected with these commands we are working with here, different values can appear. And finally, we can also create an image, like in our example here, where we've created this image. It is very easy also, because we can come to this side, create an export with the drawing. So export, we can select and say, okay, I want to create image file and do some parameters. So just do OK. And now we can do, for example, the insert picture. Choose the file, make the selection, X1, OK, and okay, choose a couple of points. Okay, my picture is quite small, but I have my picture here that I can use also to compose my my command. So parameters, control, and basically it's like this. When we have everything defined, I can come simply in here, so model, and I have my command. As you can see, this should do something with my image and so on. So I have my commands, which I don't make any idea of what they are doing, okay? But all of this can be set, and it's quite easy when we are defining things and connect them with the variables. And I have my control. Again, to avoid being this very long, just to show you briefly where these things are, and in the end of the course we will make a couple of videos showing real examples with some complexity, or at least with different levels of complexity, to show different possibilities to work with these controls.